Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Hello, what is up, family? Hunter Klein here, bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number 33. What's up, family? I hope everyone's doing well. It's the 8th month of 2020, and we will remember this year for the rest of our lives. There's a lot. I feel like this week, the news, the amount of current events, the amount of stuff to talk about is honestly overwhelming. And because I don't want to ramble on for an hour or multiple hours, I kind of had to skim things out. But it seems very new. It seems very unique. Right? Until this week, I feel like I've needed to scrounge news websites to get some actual material with substance to it. But this week, there's plenty of stuff. Starting with, did you all see the explosion in Beirut? I'm sure you have. The president's talked about it a little bit. He's tweeted about it and so on. But in Beirut, Lebanon, an absolutely insane explosion went off at the port at the city Beirut in Lebanon. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but it looked like an atomic bomb was set off in the middle of the city. Okay? And people 150 miles away felt the shockwave. Okay? How nutty is that? 150 miles away. Okay? 137 people have died and another 5,000 people have been reported injured as of yesterday. And almost 300,000 people have been displaced from their homes. Now that's a big oof, guys. And thoughts and prayers go out to those that have been affected. But the strangest thing about this event is that we don't know what it was. Okay, we're pretty sure it wasn't a terrorist attack, but it's an insane mystery that there is 2,750 metric tons of explosives sitting in a random warehouse that just happened to go off. Okay, now I'm going to say that again because that is almost unimaginable. 2,750 metric tons of explosives. Okay, for a frame of reference, the typical house weighs 70 metric tons. That's insane, guys. That's a lot of explosives. Now, like I said, we don't really know what caused it. Where did this come from? Why was there so much of this shit sitting there? So 16 employees from the port have been detained, and there's an ongoing investigation to figure out what's going on. Guys, if you haven't seen the video, go watch it. You can see a shockwave. Like, there's so much going on with the explosion. Like, there's the initial explosion, but then there's just like this bubble of like energy that just shoots outward. And it just shattered windows for miles, which is so crazy. I'm so curious what happened with this, guys. Imagine just a dude smoking a cig and his buddy's just like, "Hey, Jim, can we get a hand over here?" And he's like, "Yeah," and flicks a cig and just kadoosh. But in all seriousness, guys, a terrible accident, and hopefully we get more info on that in the coming weeks. The world's a nutty place right now. You know, things like this aren't surprising. And I wonder, I want Elon Musk to go back on Joe Rogan again, because I wonder what he has to say about the world right now. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot, and that is how truly special Elon Musk is. Now, I know I naturally come off as a huge Elon Musk fanboy, but he's genuinely a special guy, friends, okay? Think about his role in the scope of humanity. Pull back the lens. Okay, the journey of humans over thousands of years. Elon Musk is undoubtedly up with the greats. Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Stephen Hawking, and Elon Musk. Undoubtedly in that conversation. Okay, but with one special twist. the genius of our time, the Albert Einstein of our time, if you will, Elon Musk, happens to be a massive internet troll, okay? Have you seen this guy's Twitter page? He is a social media guru. He is a meme master, some would call it. Okay, how funny is that? How truly strange is that? And actually, how beautiful is that? That one of our generation's smartest minds is immersed in this Twitter meme trolley culture. Okay? The Einstein of our times is asking for funny memes, is putting out a ISO, an in search of funny memes on a Saturday night at 10 p.m. Okay? I saw this tweet, and when I was thinking about this the other day, this question is so interesting to me. What would Albert Einstein's Twitter have looked like? I can't imagine he would have done it as well as Elon, right? It's interesting that the 2000s will be the end of this lost in time phenomena, okay? And this isn't something I stole from somewhere like most of the shit I say, but this is genuinely just sprouted out of me being deep in my head the other night. The 2000s will be the end of the lost in time phenomena that we have experienced, or that our generation probably experienced the last of. And that is 200 years from now, when kids will be how do I say this? Yeah, 200 years from now, kids will actually be able to scroll through old Instagram accounts of people in their textbooks, right? Maybe not exactly like that, but everyone is so connected now. I think that makes sense. Learning about, for us right now, when I was a kid, learning about people that lived only 100 years ago was such a daunting task. It still is a daunting task, because all information on them is all word of mouth, stories, stuff they wrote down. In the future, 100 years from now, you can just throw their name in Google, right? If they're learning about Elon Musk in future classrooms, they just throw his name in Google and his Twitter will pop up. His Instagram will pop up. I don't know if he has an Instagram, but the songbirds of our generation, the people at the top, the people paving the way for human advancement, have such a transparent online personality that's just so interesting to me how the future will look when we look back on these personalities. Okay? Think about this. I'm not saying that I'm going to be famous or I'm going to be big, but using me as a frame of reference, 1,000 years from now, if someone wants to know who Hunter Klein was, okay, there is literally going to be thousands of hours of me talking on this podcast, thousands of posts on social media. They'll be able to know how I thought, all right, what I liked, what I struggled with, what I was like when I was 23, what I was like when I was 33. How did I grow? The amount of transparency there will be in the future to learn about people of the past is going to be nutty. Right? Imagine if Albert Einstein had a podcast we could go back and listen to right now. Imagine if we could listen to Albert Einstein mull over the world as a 23-year-old. It's nutty, guys. What a trip. It's so strange to me. It's so strange to me how things change over time and how we adapt. And I don't know, I think thinking like this, pulling back the lens of time and kind of thinking about as a bigger picture really kind of rocks the boat. It shines a light on how strange things truly are. All right. So a big current event. Cancel culture went for Ellen DeGeneres, guys. So what exactly happened? What exactly happened with Ellen DeGeneres? A bunch of her workers reported that she's an asshole. Okay, and apparently stories of Ellen being an asshole in Hollywood are insanely common. But after reading over these news stories and seeing all the information that's coming out, I don't think people are asking the right questions, okay? These being, how many employees does Ellen's show/project have? 1. And do you really think Ellen is communicating that much with the lighting team? Or the sound team? Ellen is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and the Ellen Show team is massive. She has so much on her plate. Okay? I honestly think these complaints, these people coming out, these workers coming out, are just a bunch of weenies trying to bring down a great and media getting a flashy news title for your clicks. Okay? And one of the major reasons I think this is the case is because if you read the articles, you will see, and I quote, this is a direct quote, most of the former employees blamed executive producers and other senior managers for the day-to-day toxicity. Okay, so it's not Ellen. Oh, so what you did is you threw Ellen's name in your article title because a lot of people are going to click on it. Or that one or two people said Ellen was mean to them. Oh, Karen is talking shit on Ellen because she didn't say thank you when she brought Ellen her coffee. Get out of here, guys. And all these big names, very famous people that have a lot on the line that probably wouldn't stand up for someone who's actually doing wrong, are saying that Ellen is awesome and that these stories are crap. Guys, I don't believe the drama, and I'm not behind the cancel Ellen movement. Read the articles, listen to the people that she worked with, and I don't think it's that hard to figure out. I think the situation is fairly obvious that there's a lot of clickbaity stuff going on right now. Because when you read the fine print of these articles, when you really get into the stories, it turns out that it's not really Ellen, right? It's the people below her. Right? The executive producers, the people running the show, why Ellen just gets on stage and does what she does. Ellen has so much on her plate, guys. She has so many projects. She has so much money. She has so much on the line. I doubt that she's working with these workers day to day. I doubt that she's talking to a lot of these people. So it's just ridiculous, guys. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And speaking of cancel culture, let's talk about a wild little situation with the actor and podcast host, Bryan Callen. Now, as of this Monday, he has been accused of sexual assault by an old a coworker of his. Yes. We are going to open this can of worms. Now, I almost decided to take this out of the episode last night. Not talk about it. Leave it be, keep my mouth closed, and kind of just stay out of the way of this movement going on. But I think that's the whole problem with this topic, guys. I truly do. People don't speak up. They want to hide because they don't want the fingers to be pointed at them. So I volunteer as tribute. All right, now, so let's go through this case. So Bryan Callen, actor and podcast host of The Fighter and the Kid, has been accused of sexual assault by an old coworker of his or a woman that he used to act with. Now, while there is no legal case against him or charges that are publicly known at the moment, it's just simply an accusation written in an article. He's done. All right. He has to leave his podcast for now, The Fighter and the Kid. His sponsor or the sponsors are going to leave the project if he doesn't. His TV show has to fire him. Everyone and anyone that works with him is forced to dump him because even association with a claim like this is dangerous for your company image. I think we can all understand that. It's very, very unfortunate, and we'll talk about that more. But from a company perspective, it's not worth the danger. It's not worth the hit that you're going to take to be associated with that, unfortunately. Now, of course, if Bryan Callen did this, he deserves all the destruction. Fuck him. Okay? Now, he is adamant. He is absolutely adamant about the fact that this is not true, that the sexual assault claim is false. He even went about posting a talking head video on his Instagram explaining it all. Now, talking head is exactly what you're looking at right now if you're watching this on video. So literally him just recording himself looking at a camera. Now, I think this holds weight because a majority of legal teams, which a lot of these high-profile people have, a majority of these legal teams will tell you to stay quiet. Kind of like Chris D'Elia did. When this happens, you stay quiet, you let the media, you let people forget about you, and then you slowly sneak back into culture. But one thing that is very interesting about the way Bryan is handling this is he's taking it head on. All right, he's getting on his Instagram and he's addressing it face to the crowd. Okay? So here's what I think. I think it's very important that women have a voice in situations like this. That is, it's important that we take claims and accusations by this women against Bryan Callen very seriously. In a sense, we need this Me Too movement that our decade is taking head on to balance the power between men and women. I don't think there's much of an argument against the fact that some putrid stuff has happened to women over the last decades and it's been brushed under the rug or gone under the radar. All right, so we need this Me Too movement to kind of balance out the power. All right, make women in society feel safe. But it's also important. It's also very important that we listen to the accused, or that we listen to Bryan Callen's side of things on the issue, because an accusation is exactly that, a claim with no evidence. Now, through investigation and hearing both sides, we make a conclusion that turns that accusation into a truth or a false. Okay? Now, here is the issue in today's culture regarding the Me Too movement. And that is, you are guilty until proven innocent. All right, that is an issue. A random woman from across the globe that you have never met can accuse a big name of sexual assault, and the person that is accused is immediately hit off the map, is immediately casted away. You immediately have everything taken from you. And we can see this right now in the case of Bryan, very obviously. This is a huge problem, guys, because not all women are honest with good intentions. Just like all men aren't respectful. Just like all men don't participate in consensual sex. There's 7 billion humans on Earth, guys. And we are going to have some bad eggs on the male and female side. And unfortunately, due to the times, if you have a decent following, some sponsorships, and a business behind you, if a bad egg on the female side of things decides to take you off the map, pluck, okay, later, bud, instantaneously. Now, I want to reiterate again, if Bryan Callen did this, fuck him, absolutely, take him off, take everything from him, get away from him, cast him out. We don't want people like this in society, but we have no idea, right? As soon as this hit the stage, as soon as this hit the scene, he is done. Everything's taken. This power is too much. The speed and ferocity at which a man accused of sexual assault gets destroyed is too quick. And I know you're looking at me like, oh, Hunter, you're a man. You're a privileged white man. I know this isn't the best look for me to talk about this, but someone has to. Okay? Again, women need a little extra power to balance things out. I am not disagreeing with that. I think that's 100% the case. I think the Me Too movement is needed. We need to ensure that females in our population feel safe. And giving them a little bit more power is necessary for that, considering what's happened over the last 100 years. But we have swung way too far, guys. There is no legitimate evidence against this man, yet he is on the chopping block. We haven't established whether he's innocent or guilty, yet we take everything away. Okay? If he's guilty, go ahead and wipe him off the map. But we have no clue. The reason I want to talk about this and the reason I didn't take it out is because I need to vent this out. Because this is dangerous. And it's scary, guys. Being a male, I know this sounds ridiculous. And I know... it might be risky, I guess, to talk about this. I'm putting myself in the crosshair. But it's so scary being a young man and just seeing, people that you look up to. Obviously, I'm podcasting. I look up to successful podcasters that seem to be, as soon as they're accused, as soon as someone decides, you know what, I don't like him, I want to file this. He's done. The reason I guess I'm so scared, guys, is I'm working my ass off. I'm bleeding my eyes out to build a future for myself, whether it be through this podcast or my education, whether it be building the IP Monkeys community. And I can't risk something like this, guys. I feel like I don't even want to associate myself with women. I feel like I need to know a woman for 4 to 5 years before I am in a room alone with her, honestly. And it's not because I'm prone to this behavior. It's because I feel like I have too much to lose. Dreams, hopes, aspirations that I don't want to put in the hands of another person. I don't want to give someone, the codes for the nuclear demise of my life. And it seems like in these times, unfortunately, where a simple accusation can destroy you, the safest way to go about it is to lock yourself up and say, I'm not messing with it. If you're not a childhood friend, if you don't know me, then I can't associate with you. I can't do more than maybe, I don't know, guys. Do other guys have to feel this way? Right? They have to. And I don't mean to pin women into a corner here. It's just the vibe of our society, guys. I hope it balances out. I hope it balances out soon. I think there is a median here. I think there's a middle ground. We just got to find it, man. And it seems that, how we deal with these issues is we tend to swing back and forth between the extremes. Joe Rogan said this on one of his last podcasts. We tend to kind of drift back and forth between extremes before we eventually kind of nestle into a nice little median. That seems to be the best. So we'll see, guys. Scary time to be a young male. Seeing what's happening to a lot of the people that, you look up to potentially. Damn, that was heavy. I'm glad we talked about it, though. Speaking of other podcasts, I heard a guest on one of my favorite podcasts say that things will never go back to normal earlier this week. In regards to COVID, how depressing is that perspective? And for a second when I heard him say it, I said, damn. How wild. He's right. Things will never go back to normal. But then I came back to earth. And I thought, what a stupid comment to make, huh? What an easy comment and assumption to make. Also very negative and doesn't take into account how adaptable humans are. All right, we got this, family. We come back from this. We learn, adapt, and advance like we have for the last hundreds of thousands of years. 1,000, yeah, that's a long time span. Let's go with the last thousands of years, okay? Because if we don't adapt, if we don't advance, when the aliens get here, we're getting wiped off the earth, family, because they're gonna farm our gold and diamonds, and they have no use for some simple little monkeys running around. All right, kind of like we kill animals of the rainforest to harvest the wood. Okay, we have no choice but to, get into that stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Dr. Disrespect is back streaming again. If you guys don't know who Dr. Disrespect is, he is an online personality who streams. His real name is Guy Beam, but he dresses up as this fictional character with a silly wig on and glasses, and he plays video games and streams it to the world. Now you probably think, wow, Hunter, that's extremely silly. Guys, this man is a legend. Okay, the community he has, the persona, the idea of the community he's built, his violent speed and momentum. It's a very motivational community, right? A community pretty much centered around being your best self, attacking life, and just keep going. Right? Take advantage of things, push forward. When life kicks you down, get back up. These type of things, these type of ideas. And he's been gone for about a month and a half now for a reason that's unknown to the entire gaming community. Right? He was originally streaming on Twitch. He had just been signed a large contract, and out of nowhere he was banned. Now he still claims that he has no idea why he was banned. You're like, okay, Hunter, who cares? Well, he came back today. And at the peak of his stream, 510,000 people were watching his stream on YouTube. Okay? 3 hours after the broadcast, the stream had 6 million views, guys. Absolutely insane. I am almost certain this is a record for streaming, and it is revolutionary for the streaming industry. Okay, guys? And it's so awesome to see this guy back on the map. I don't watch him too much, but I am a huge fan. Not because I love watching him play video games, but I like the message. I like what he stands for. Okay, the message behind his community, the type of people that come out of that community, the type of mindset that people gain from being a part of that community, I think is really valuable, guys. So go Dr. Disrespect. That's awesome to see. A lot of current events this week, guys. Not a lot of meta thinking. I'm not really tearing apart life that much as I usually do. We're at 25 minutes. I don't know, guys. It's a heavy episode. But we have to talk about real stuff sometimes, right? These are big topics for the times that we're in. The important topics for the time we're in. Some would say the biggest. I think it's important that we talk about this stuff. Cancel culture. Specifically. More so when stories like this rise, right? Ellen being canceled. Bryan Callen on the chopping block. So when these stories arise, we don't fall in line with the mindless cancel culture. Because it's really easy to read that article of Ellen and just lazily say, oh, wow, Ellen is a terrible person. It's awesome. It's a lot of us, unfortunately, get joy from seeing titles like that because we don't have millions of dollars, because we're not famous. And it's like, oh, she's not perfect. I don't feel like shit as much now. Right? And it's unfortunate that that's the mindset that the general culture has right now. Okay, so rather than filing in line and following this mindless cancel culture or falling in line to what these stories are trying to tell you, I think it's important that we think critically about these situations and form our own opinions. And by doing so, by changing the way we think about these things, by talking it out, by figuring out what the best way to go about things is, we're paving the way for a different and much better future. Because right now, I know I'm very young, and a lot of us are very young. You know, we don't have much of an ability to change things. And things are not perfect by any means. We're very infant in our stages of approaching cancel culture. We're very infant in our stages of approaching how we handle allegations against men and women. You know, so considering that we'll most likely be the leaders of future generations, I think practicing or even starting to talk about these things right now is the best for us, guys. Okay? Heavy episode. But, you know, life isn't always sunshine and roses. Sometimes you gotta get down to the nitty gritty. Really flesh out some hard to handle topics, guys. All right? Anything else? I got a haircut. All right? I'm really hype about that. I'm talking to more humans. Right? The world is slowly opening back up where I'm at. Normalcy coming every single week, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. Be good to yourselves. Don't let clickbait articles form the way you think about the world. Use multiple sources and shine on, family. All right? Sweet. Peace out. I'll see you guys next week.